Like lots of that with the circles in the middle. It's like yeah.
It looks like
like little where everything
was it?
Yeah.
And I always think it looks like a little person.
Over there you can see a little.
The letter.
Yeah.
Like.
韩文跟中文
easier than Japanese. It's not.
I cannot learn it.
Kind of like.
I think the letters look like little patterns that you make yourself because they have similar, like there's a circle in one and then there's a circle in another, and it's like they come together into like beautiful pattern. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I think of him. I think it's beautiful writing. That's what I think. Yeah.
I think it looks like art, like beautiful art. It looks like something I would see like on a wall somewhere that someone's done, like in Australia, like very beautiful writing. Like it just looks like cool patterns and stuff. Yeah. It kind of makes me think of like arches and doorways, you know, like lots of things like that with the circles in the middle. It's like people walking through almost, you know. Yeah.
I think it's a lot like symbols, because we got mixed up with the one character looked exactly like one of the train symbols, and when we followed it, it was just the exit out.
So it looks like an alien language. When we I don't know, if you read in Spanish, it's a completely different word, but obviously we know what the letters look like, so you can kind of get a concept of what you're reading. But with Korean, there's absolutely no chance. I don't have a clue what that is meant to say. And I'm very happy they've got English translations for everything.
Yeah, no, it's they look like pictures, don't they?
Yeah.
Not like letters. Like it looks like a little image of something.
Yeah, or like hieroglyphs.
But I do quite like how uniform they are. Like the way they're all like squares is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know what any of it means at all. Oh, they look like
back in the caveman times.
A
So
bit
it's
like Keith Haring drawings.
Oh,
Like little where everything.
was it
kind
Mr.
of like
Doodle?
yeah, Mr. Doodle actually. Mr.
Yeah.
Doodle. That's
Yeah, he's an artist. I think he's is he American?
I think so. It gives me Mr. Doodle vibes.
Yeah.
So that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, he's an
Like
artist.
little squiggles.
もう全部同じ、なんか同じ文字に見えた。同じ文字。同じリフカー。
I mean, I always think like some of the letters. I love the H because I draw mine not with the two lines, but I draw it with the one down and then like this. And I always think it looks like a little person wearing like the traditional hat. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think it's very gorgeous. So I like that one. That one's probably my favorite.
I don't know, they look like little paintings. It doesn't really make much sense to me, but it looks nice. Yeah, like a little painting. There, like over there you can see a little house, and then it's a little circle, then it looks like a tree, like just like little items painted up.
At first it was kind of interesting because it looks like little drawers, like so like houses, and I thought it was like the letter yeah, like exactly. So it was funny. It was really interesting letters and language, but at first it was really different. With Spanish, it's completely different, but I loved it. I love Hangul. I wish I can learn Korean. 네, 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 프란시스카예요. 네. 감사합니다.
When I was starting to learn Korean language and I go to the academy in the Pakistan, and when I see the letters alphabet, so I thought, oh my god, what is that? It was so, it was so strange for me. I thought it's like someone is drawing lines without thinking and without knowing anything, just drawing like this and don't know how to write. It was shocking for me, letters, alphabets. So that was very much difficult for me. But from there I start learning, and slowly and gradually I learn, and now I think I can speak Korean language like 20%.
从我的了解来说，韩文以前也是夹杂着一些中文的，但是后来的话，韩文逐渐把韩语里面的中文给去掉了，然后现在只剩下纯韩文。但是我认为呢，韩文跟中文也是有着非常紧密的联系的，比如说像他们的一些发音啊都很像。
我认为韩国这个文字看起来有点像火柴棍儿， 从我的角度来看呢，这个韩文字母长得有点像这个中文和日文的一个相结合的一个形式。然后它作为同为亚洲国家的这个同胞，我认为韩国文字也是有一定的非常深厚的文化底蕴的啊。就这些，谢谢。
Just shape. Yeah, just shape. Korean letter for me is not very hard to read because you just need to memorize the shape. But I think Japanese and Mandarin is more difficult than Korean language. So I can sort of read Korean because they have Kannada, Mabasa. Even though I don't know the meaning, but I can read. Yeah. Hyotong Yap Cha Beryok Sok. But I don't know, but it have translation there, right? But I don't know the exact. I just can't read it. Easier than Japanese. I learned Japanese before and I cannot read Japanese until now. It's not Hanja. Hanja is maybe difficult. The simplified one is, I think, is better.
Korean letters are totally different, and I came first in Korea. I felt it's a bit complicated and some a bit funny as well. And then when I got used to it, I found out that Korean language is a very polite and gentle language. I think it has a different way to express, and it's totally different from other languages, and now I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, it's absolutely different from Turkish letters, you know, it doesn't seem like a letters for me. I cannot read, I can understand anything, it's absolutely, but it seems funny. Absolutely. I think I cannot learn it.
I mean, they don't look like much. Like it's a lot of characters. It looks very tricky, very difficult to learn. Very complicated. But I'd say they look like almost little pictures to me. Almost like a drawing, like a simple drawing. Like each picture means something different. Yeah, like a picture rather than, I'd say in English, it's a letter. I try and learn some of the language. It's very hard, very hard.
This is my first time in Korea, so when I first entered, I kind of saw a lot of letters, and then I kind of feel like it looks like Japanese or no. So I think it's cute letters, kind of like character from cartoon. I mean, like the letters. Yeah, I like it. It's really cute. I used to learn Korean a little bit from my friend. I feel it's not difficult to read, but like I learned some letters only. Like that one. Is that Seoul Win Toa?
Well, I don't understand anything. You know, I always see these kind of characters because I'm used to travel in China, so it is like Chinese. Yes, like Japanese, maybe like hiragana or katakana. I think for all the Western people, it's the same. Korean characters have more rounded, like circles and elliptic shapes, like symbols, like ancient symbols, or maybe civilizations from other planets or something. When you see movies about other civilizations, you see that they represent the letters like this, something like if you watch Independence Day, you will see that these creatures use a language like this, like with these characters and symbols. Yeah.
Bonito y sorprendente también porque lo que decía mi amiga, cuando uno lo ve como la lombriz y nosotros hicimos un curso de Hangul y poder como leer pero a la vez no entender es un poco raro pero divertido, así que aquí estamos para aprender más, ojalá y poder hablar en un futuro coreano.
Et je risque peut-être de faire une réponse un petit peu stéréotypée, mais vu qu'on ne connaît pas ce genre d'alphabet, forcément ça nous fait penser à l'alphabet chinois ou bien à d'autres pays d'Asie. Et voilà, je ne sais pas en dire beaucoup plus.
C'est super beau à voir, à regarder, mais c'est vrai que c'est compliqué vu qu'on ne s'y connaît pas vraiment et que voilà, on ne sait pas dire de quel côté il faut lire, de gauche à droite ou de droite à gauche. Mais sinon c'est très beau à voir.
I remember when I was learning Korean, and I remember learning it and thinking how cool it was that all of the letters in Hangul are like the shape that your mouth makes when you make them, because it was like made so that it would increase the literacy rate so people could understand better. But one thing that I find very difficult to say is the double consonant sounds, so like k or g. Like I can't do it very well. So my teacher always used to be like, all right, do it again. Okay, we'll go k, k, and I couldn't do the last one. Something then.